I think it's obvious to anyone that's seen clips of Joe Biden over the past year or so that he is in a state of mental decline. His mental capacities are not what they were 4 years ago, 8 years ago during Obama's term. Look at any clips of Joe Biden in the past year and compare those to Joe Biden debating Paul Ryan, and you'll see that he's not all there anymore. And it's sad to say. It doesn't please me to say this. What I think is a problem is that the media is not doing their job in highlighting this. It's very clear what's going on here. His mental health is not what it used to be. He can barely form complete sentences. He very frequently forgets people's names. He very frequently forgets where he even is. And this is not a winning person who will defeat Donald Trump. This isn't someone that's going to excel in debates against Donald Trump. Here is clip compilation number 1005 of just some of the latest gaffes, if that's what you even can call them anymore, of Joe Biden.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. Tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont? One of the things I'm proudest of is getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping and making the case that I believe China would join if we put pressure on them. You had people like you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. Go to Joe 30330. Watch what happened when those kids from Parkland came up to see me when I was vice president. They went and some of you covered it.
So Biden tells this story, or some version of it, a lot. He says that, he went on this military trip and it was dangerous, but he wanted to go anywhere, and he goes to the Konar province of Afghanistan, and he hears about how this man had climbed down into a ravine to rescue a fallen soldier, and he comes back up and he doesn't want to get this medal because he feels so heartbroken that his fellow comrade has fallen. That's about 3 different really heroic war stories, all kind of pushed together into one anecdote.
Joe Biden has made all sorts of statements about his activism in the civil rights movement. Now, in the beginning of his career, he made similar statements that he's making today on the campaign trail, and then he got caught lying. And for a huge chunk of his political career, he stopped telling those lies.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto. The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is here.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
So I think at a certain point of watching these clips, it gets pretty sad. Just seeing how far he's fallen when compared to where he was 4 or 8 years ago. And the thing is, people are covering this up. Their own campaign is covering this up, number one. They're not giving him media interviews. Rachel Maddow wants to interview him, and he hasn't sat down for an interview all year, all campaign cycle. He is able to hide in the background of debates, being that there are so many candidates on the debate stage previously. He's not doing media interviews. He's not doing press conferences that often, things like that. So he's staying out of the media limelight. But then he has his surrogates go on, television, on social media, saying that if you are bringing this up about him, you're, in fact, making fun of people that stutter. This isn't a stutter. These clips, what's going on there, that's not a stuttering problem. That's a cognitive decline problem. And it is awful that they are using this as something to cover this up. I think the media needs to do a better job at pointing this out, pointing out what's going on here, because it's obvious to anyone that watches these clips. So, we need to do a better job in giving our message as Sanders supporters. We need to show people what's going on here and highlight this, because people are not going to see this. People are not going to see this on their television. You need to show this to your friends and family. Show this to the older voter crowd, because this is where we're weak right now. This is where we're weak. We have the young support. We have the non-white support. We need to work on this older voter crowd, and that's where we're lacking. So when it comes to highlighting problems with Joe Biden, this should be up there. Wanting to cut Social Security and Medicaid in the past is up there. His votes on trade deals should be up there, or his support for trade deals, actually. So, in any case, I think that it's sad to see Joe Biden out here paraded out here as the candidate to beat Donald Trump, when that's not the case at all. Donald Trump will destroy him. Leave your comments below if you have any thoughts or reactions to Joe Biden's mental state, any concerns that you may have, what your family or friends are saying about what's going on. And follow me on Twitter at PathForwardYT. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed to keep up to date with this 2020 election cycle.